Hello and welcome to the first episode of our new series, The Elder Scrolls Lore and More. If you follow this series, you'll learn all about the lore of Tamriel, from basic introductions to each of the provinces, down to detailed explanations of historical events. This episode is titled Provinces, and in it we'll be giving you a brief introduction of the 9 main provinces in Tamriel.
We'll start the episode off at the top left of the map with High Rock, and then make our way through. High Rock is a province that's mostly inhabited by a race called the Bretons, but they also share some of their space with orcs who reside in the orc city-state of Orsinium. High Rock arguably has some of the most rich history in all of Tamriel, with there being evidence of human settlements dating back thousands of years before recorded history began. The province was also the main setting for the Elder Scrolls game, Daggerfall.
Most of you should be familiar with Skyrim. For those who aren't, Skyrim is the northernmost province of Tamriel. It has a cold and unforgiving climate and is mainly inhabited by the resilient Nords, though it was once ruled by the Elves. Its capital city is Solitude, home to the head of state, which is the High King or Queen. Skyrim is separated into 9 different holds. Each hold is ruled by a separate Jarl who all hold their own individual opinions, but they swear their loyalty to the High King, who in turn supports the Empire along with his Imperial Legion. Skyrim is the setting for the latest Elder Scrolls game, where it's currently in the middle of a civil war between the Imperial Legion and a rebellious faction called the Stormcloaks.
Home to the Dunmer, also known as Dark Elves, Morrowind is a province in the northeast corner of Tamriel. Morrowind is where the third Elder Scrolls game of the same name takes place, but the game only features the huge island in the centre of Morrowind called Vvardenfell. Historically, Morrowind was home to the Dwemer, an ancient dwarven race, and since then Morrowind has had a turbulent history full of war and conflict. More recently, a series of natural disasters and invasions have forced most of the Dunmer out of Morrowind, and left the province mostly destroyed. However, some Dark Elves are returning to what's left of their homeland to try to rebuild what they once had.
Hammerfell is a province that is largely covered by barren wastelands and desert. Most of its cities are confined to the province's coastline, where the land is more fertile. It's inhabited mainly by Redguards, dark-skinned humans who are known for their strong exploration skills. After some political struggles in the 4th era, Hammerfell is now a completely independent state, with a prosperous future as a sovereign nation. Hammerfell has made appearances in a few of the Elder Scrolls games, including Arena, Daggerfall, and the 2 spin-off games, The Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard and The Elder Scrolls Travels Shadowkey.
In the centre of Tamriel we have Cyrodiil, regarded by most as the capital province of Tamriel. Home to the Imperial race and the Empire, its capital city is Imperial City, home to the Emperor himself. Cyrodiil shares its borders with all but 2 of the provinces in Tamriel, and its central location made it a perfect place for the Imperial Legion to rule from within. Cyrodiil is also known as the heart of Tamriel, and when the province is in turmoil, its problems ripple throughout the entire continent. The Elder Scrolls game Oblivion is set in Cyrodiil during the 3rd era, and in the middle of the Oblivion Crisis, which we'll get to in a later video.
Moving down to the southwest of the map, you've got 2 islands called the Summerset Isles. The majority of the population consists of High Elves, who are known for their skill in controlling magic. Summerset Isles is run by a rich empire called the Aldmeri Dominion. The Aldmeri Dominion are an empire that believe that the Elves are the rightful rulers of Tamriel, and that all other races are inferior. The only game that the Summerset Isles have been featured in is the Elder Scrolls Arena.
Moving to the right of the Summerset Isles we have Vallon Wood, a densely forested province. Home to the Bosmer, also known as the Wood Elves, this southern province has seen its fair share of conflicts. To some, Vallon Wood may seem like an overgrown forest, but the Wood Elves are given it the comforts of living in the civilized world, and instead have opted to live in the wilderness among nature. The cities that make up Vallon Wood are actually located in giant walking trees that migrate through the forest. And in recent years the province has been under the control of the Aldmeri Dominion, but things are far from calm.
Elsewhere is a province to the south of Cyrodiil and to the east of Vallon Wood. It's home to a feline race called the Khajiit. The Khajiit are known for selling their produce around Tamriel, but they're not the most trusted race due to many of them having a reputation of being thieves. Elsewhere consists of vast deserts in the north and has a subtropical climate in the south. In the south there's also a town called Orcrest which has a huge orc population as well as some Argonias and Minotaurs. In recent years the population is sparse as many of the Khajiit have migrated to other provinces in Tamriel.
And finally we get to Black Marsh, home to a lizard race called the Argonians. You may also hear Black Marsh being referred to as Argonia because of its large Argonian population. Black Marsh largely consists of a thick swampland where nobody but the Argonians could live comfortably. And in the past Argonians from Black Marsh were exploited for slavery and dragged in chains over the border into Morrowind where they were forced to work for the Dark Elves. Over time, the tension between the Dark Elves and the Argonians has led to countless conflicts between the 2 races.
And that wraps up this episode of Skyrim Lore and More. We hope the video helped you understand the different provinces that are in Tamriel, and gave you a basic understanding of each of them. For the next episode we'll be going over how time is measured in Tamriel, from small units like days all the way up to eras, so keep an eye out for that next week if you're interested. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.